Good evening, viewers, and welcome to this edition of NTV Sports Page. It's Wednesday, the 17th of March, and I'm Curtis Morton. In our headlines, we have an update on matches played in the SKNFA Premier League Friday, 12th March. And in our feature for this evening, Spencer Howell pays tribute to Dinsley Liburd. We'll take this break and I'll be right back.
Salt is an important part of the human diet, but most of us consume more than we realize.
Consuming excess salt can lead to heart attack, high blood pressure, and even stroke, and other health-related conditions such as kidney disease.
As a hypertensive patient, in my home, I reduce salt intake by not adding salt during the preparation of my food, not having a salt shaker on my table, limiting the consumption of salty snacks, and choosing products with low sodium content.
If you gradually use less salt, you will gradually want less salt. Eating less salty foods will reduce your cravings for salty foods.
Do you know that common baked goods such as bread and crackers are high in salt?
Did you know that there are certain seasonings that contain more salt than you actually need? There are more natural, healthier ways to reduce the salt intake in your dishes by using natural things like onions, garlic, seasoned peppers, and even thyme and merengue powder.
Consuming foods like bananas, potatoes, and dried peas and beans such as lentils and kidney beans contains potassium, which helps to reduce salt in the body.
You can lower your salt intake by reducing salty foods, removing table salt, and using salt alternatives when cooking.
Most people consume excess salt from processed foods, such as snack foods, processed meats, instant meals, and condiments.
Instead, use fresh vegetables, ground provision, fresh meats, and natural herb seasonings, just like our grandparents did, and just like you did with this soup.
Get salt smart.
I am salt smart.
Let's get salt smart.
We are salt smart.
Well, I'm back and we begin with cricket. West Indies fast bowling great Michael Holding has won the Sports Journalists Association SJA Award for the Best Pundit in 2020 at the SJA Awards, and Sky Sports won the Sports Network of the Year category. The Sports Pundit Award, which is decided by an SJA members' vote, was given to former West Indian pace bowler Holding for his powerful testimony about racial injustice in the aftermath of the death of George Floyd on Sky's cricket's coverage of England versus the West Indies in July 2020. In his acceptance speech, delivered via video, Holding said, "It is something that has been in me and in my head for many, many years. People don't understand what it is like to go through life always thinking that people think less of you than what you think of yourself. It can be a little bit tiring, and when I got the opportunity, it just came spilling out." CWI President Ricky Skerritt praised Holding for his passion and bravery. Michael Holding has always made West Indians and his many international fans proud of him, both on and off the cricket field. His latest journalism award recognizes his sincerity, passion, and bravery in the face of adversity and conflict. These are some of the same principles that represent the best of West Indies cricket. CWI celebrates with Mikey Holding for continuing to make us all proud to be West Indians. Now to football. St. Peter's are sitting pretty at the top of the Premier League with a resounding victory on Friday in the SKNFA Premier League. Connery FC also enjoyed a well-needed win after a crisis week which saw resignations of their coaches. For the details on these reports, we join Andrew Huey, media consultant to the SKNFA.
St. Peter's FC shot to the top of the SKNFA Premier League table this weekend after a 2-0 victory at the Warner Park on Friday over Trafalgar South Stars. Devontae Fye notched a well-timed lob over the South Stars goalkeeper in the 8th minute to send his team into half-time with a 1-0 lead. Late in the match, St. Peter's earned a penalty and doubled the lead in the 82nd minute. This was not without controversy, however, as Kirkland Harris had to retake his initial penalty shot as the goalkeeper was deemed to have moved off his line before the shot was taken, saving it only for the referee to rule on the infringement. Harris retook the shot and found the back of the net. After the match, we spoke to St. Peter's FC assistant coach Al Richards.
Yeah, a better second half by our team, I think we passed the ball better. We get the extra goal, which I tell you about half-time, I think overall performance was very good.
Meanwhile, the South Stars assistant coach Alistair Clark said the team would regroup and get ready for the next game. He was also asked about the penalty retake.
From my point of view, I didn't really see what happened, but it looked like he went side to side, but I'll have to see the replay. Well, we take each game on its own merit, so we just got debriefing at the next training session and then we look forward to the next game.
The Victory men St. Peter's were at the top of the table pending the result of that day's very next match, Fast Cash Saddlers versus Saul Allen Auto Supply's Connery FC. Saddlers was at the top of the table prior to Friday's matches. Connery had a tumultuous week after suffering resignations among their coaching staff and club executive, forcing them to forfeit their match against St. Paul's a week ago. They bounced back with a 1-0 victory against Saddlers, that goal coming from Kadeem Lewis in the 37th minute. Despite Saddler's best effort, they were unable to find an equalizer, let alone a victory. Caretaker coach for Connery, Delwyn Delaney, was relieved with the victory and described it as Jesus coming in the midst of their storm.
Yes, the whole composure, especially the back line we had there, and Chappie doing a marvellous job in the back line there. And again, always count on the work rate by Wazim and Errol, of course, stepping up to the plate. So it was a whole team effort, and Jesus come in the nick of in the midst of the storm, because definitely we're going through a storm, but we needed this win and we got it.
For Kenroy Nibbs of Saddlers, the first loss of what has been a historic start for Saddlers so far was disappointing, but said they will bounce back.
I think the second half we have put in a good show in terms of effort, but we didn't convert the chances that we created in the second half. And is that the competition doesn't stop here, it continues. So we have to go back in training, work on our mistakes, do the correct swatting of the game in terms of our strength and weakness, and get the players them to get the correct behavior for us to be successful.
Thank you so much, Andre. We'll take this break and I'll be back with our feature for this evening.
Hi, miss, are you okay?
My chest hurting, all the pain gone down to me arm.
Someone call the ambulance.
In the event of a health emergency, dial 469-3333.
Good day, you've reached the Alexandra Emergency Line. This is Nurse Hanley speaking. What is your emergency?
For health emergencies, dial 469-3333. That's 469-3333.
Well, I'm back, and tonight horse racing is in the spotlight. Yes, I did say horse racing, but it's off the track. Spencer Howell, who has been involved in horse racing on Nevis for many years, took time out on Tuesday to briefly pay tribute to the late Dinsey Liebert of Brownhill.
Dinsey Liebert, Dinsey is from Brownhill. I know Dinsey very well. He went off to live in the Virgin Islands like 3/4 or 90% of Brownhill did at one time. But he got involved in racing through being associated, I suppose, with horse racing in St. Thomas, because that's a big thing in St. Thomas.
Okay.
And then his involvement encouraged him to bring horses and races into Nevis. My very good friend Puck Liebert, Puck was his main man of business.
Okay.
Puck did the management of his horses for him. And I must tell you that Puck was one of the better trainers that we've had around here for a long time.
Okay.
We are sad by his passing. I did not know. I know he came to Nevis on a fairly regular basis. He had a house somewhere in the Stony Grove area. And I know he was married. I think his wife died some time ago. But he would come to Nevis regularly. But over the years, I have not really seen much of Dinsey because I have not really been around. Well, there was no racing to be around much of anyway.
Well, that's our package for this evening. I am Curtis Morton, reminding you that you can watch sports if you're not fit. But to play sports requires fitness, diligence, and sacrifice. Have a good night.